summer of '97 at Camp Willow Creek, tucked away in the remote wilderness of Oregon. I was 17, ready to unwind after my junior year of high school. My friend Toby had convinced me to work as a camp counselor with him. It sounded like easy money and fun times. I had no idea of the horrors that awaited. The camp was only a few months old, started by a former Boy Scout troop leader named Mr. Renault. He had purchased 50 acres of pristine forest and cleared a few acres to build log cabins, a mess hall, and various other camp buildings. Being a new camp, the facilities were sparkling clean and up to date. Toby and I arrived a week before the campers to help get the place ready. The other counselors trickled in over the next few days, an eclectic bunch of fellow students working summer jobs. We spent those early days unpacking supplies, decorating cabins, and planning activities. Mr. Renault made sure we felt at home, even joining us for meals in the mess hall. He was in his mid-40s, tan and muscular, with a shiny bald head and bright blue eyes. He ran the camp with military precision but still cracked jokes to keep things light. The campers arrived on a sunny Saturday. Their sunny 12 and 13-year-old boys bubbling with excitement. Toby and I were assigned Cabin 5 with 4 energetic campers. After getting the kids settled in, we guided them through various get-to-know-you games and icebreakers. The first week went by in a blur of activities. During the day, we would install the standard camp fare, canoeing, hiking, archery. In the evenings, we'd eat dinner in the mess hall, gather for a bonfire, then get ready for bed. Toby and I learned quickly how exhausting it was to keep our pack of preteens under control. But we grew close with the campers, bonding over ghost stories and s'mores. It was the start of the second week when things took a turn. I was woken abruptly in the middle of the night by Toby shaking me violently. His eyes were wild, his breath erratic. The campers in our cabin were startled awake by the commotion. "Jacob, get up. We have to get out of here now." Toby whispered urgently. I sat up, confused and disoriented. Our campers huddled together on the floor, whispering anxiously. "What's going on?" asked Jester, a quiet kid who always got homesick. I shrugged, just as puzzled as they were. Toby glanced around nervously. "I saw something terrible. We're in danger," he said. He refused to elaborate, simply repeating that we needed to run. But before I could respond, we heard a blood-curdling scream in the distance. Adrenaline shot through my system as I exchanged an alarm look with Toby. We quickly ushered our campers outside, where dozens of others were gathered in confusion. Mr. Renault emerged from his cabin down the path. "Everyone remain calm. Return to your cabins while we investigate," he ordered. But Toby was adamant that we needed to escape immediately. 2 campers were discovered missing from cabin 11 once Mr. Renault did a count. He divided us into search groups to comb the surrounding woods. Toby begged me not to let the campers out of my sight. They clung to each other, faces pale with fright, headed towards the lake first. The still dark water was obscured by a wispy mist. There's nothing. We turned back towards the cabins. A haunting chant echoed faintly between the trees, sending chills down my spine. As we pushed deeper into the forest, the chanting grew louder, interspersed with crazed laughter. We approached a clearing where a bonfire raged, surrounded by shadowy figures. Dark robes concealed their faces, but their eyes reflected the flames menacingly. 2 figures emerged from the darkness, dragging the bound campers into the firelight. They were stripped naked and placed side by side on an obsidian stone altar. The tallest robed figure raised a gleaming dagger high above them. Toby cried out as the blade sliced the campers' throats in one swift motion. Blood poured rapidly from their necks as their bodies spasmed on the altar. The lead cultist gathered the blood in an ornate goblet, chanting before passing it around to the others. They drank eagerly, letting it drip down their chins. I stood paralyzed by the barbaric ritual, unable to process this nightmarish reality. Toby grabbed my shoulder firmly, jolting me into action. Getting the campers away from here was all that mattered now. We raced back through the woods, hearing branches snap behind us as the colt gave pursuit. The campers whimpered and screamed, stumbling blindly through the underbrush. At last we reached the perimeter of the camp, where Mr. Renault stood waiting with the other counselors. "Thank God you found them," he exclaimed as the campers ran to him crying. He reassured them everything was fine, but I knew that was far from the truth. Toby and I sat with the campers as the police took statements. They described men in dark robes chasing them with weapons and talked of gruesome rituals. The police shook their heads in disbelief. Clearly just the result of overactive imaginations, we were later informed the bodies had never been found. I overheard the officers chatting with Mr. Renault, chalking it up to a prank in bad taste. Evidence of the supposed cult had inexplicably vanished once they went to investigate. We were told without proof there was little they could do. Toby and I knew what we witnessed, but no one would listen. The camp closed early after that turbulent night. As we packed up to leave, I noticed Mr. Naut watching us from a distance. A satisfied smirk crossed his face before he ducked back into the shadows. A chill ran down my spine despite the morning sun. That image is seared into my mind, the cultist flames reflecting off those red-stained goblets. I'll never forget those boys' final cries silenced under the knife. Sometimes I still have nightmares about that twisted ritual in the woods. Who knows what they were summoning that night? But I suspect Camp Willow Creek hides many more sinister secrets. Secrets that are dying to get out.